Joining us now from the WGN newsroom, lead consultant for Serafin Associates, Thom Serafin. Thom, how's it going this evening?
Okay, good. Good, Gerard. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming out this evening. You know, Republicans are partying in the streets. I was watching the coverage on the news last night. Will President Obama's change movement, will it be reversed now, Thom?
No, not at all. I think what they're going to do is take this momentum that the Republicans think they have. It wasn't a Republican victory as much as it was a victory against the incumbency and the problems we have in Washington, D.C. Remember, in Massachusetts, there are more independent voters than there are Republican and Democratic voters. So you have only 36% of the state registered Democrats, 12% Republicans. This was a vote against Washington, D.C., and I think the president heard the message. I think President Obama is going to be very agile on his feet, and he's going to be fluid on this issue.
Yeah, Thom, the new F word, of course, is in 2010 is filibuster. Do you think Republicans will use the removal of the 60th vote as leverage for revenge or leverage for justice and equality?
I think leverage for justice and equality. Remember, 59 votes to 41. That's a huge majority.
Yeah.
The Democrats still have the bully pulpit. They still have the White House. They still have the House. They have the Senate. They have all of government.
Yeah.
So there's an opportunity here for them. And I think what the president is going to do, and he talked about it late this afternoon, he's going to go for small pieces on this health budget. You know, we should have portability with our health care. We should be able to take it from job to job. We should have no pre-existing conditions to be able to buy health care. Kids should stay with their parents on their health care. And I think those are some of the ideas that he's going to propose. And I think they're going to go in pieces rather than this big sandwich. The Republicans will have to do something. They haven't had a plan. They haven't had a program. They're just the recipient of bad Democratic policies up to this point. Until they have something, it's an independent wave right now.
You know what, Thom? Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, he said, quote, the president ought to take this as a message to recalibrate how he wants to govern. And if he wants to govern from the middle, well, we'll just have to meet him there. Is that a peace offering or a threat, Thom?
No, that's a peace offering based on history. Remember what happened to Bill Clinton when he lost the health care bill, when it went through did not go through the Congress. They lost the United States House of Representatives in '94. Now, some people say it was because of health care. I think it was because of a lot more reasons than just health care. But nevertheless, he recalibrated, moved towards the middle. They called it triangulation at the time, and he was overwhelmingly elected 2 years later, and he served 8 terms, the first Democrat to do that in a very long time. So I think, you know, President Obama has the same opportunity. He's a good student of history. He still can do the job that needs to be done. And remember, Senator Brown from Massachusetts is up for re-election in 2012, the same year that the president is. Kind of a coincidence.
Oh, that's interesting. So we're going to see coincidences. We're also going to see a little irony of sorts. You know, Thom, Brown's victory gives Republicans 41 votes in the Senate, which is a cross-body block on the Democrats. Not really, because the Democrats still are the majority, but this ability to stop filibusters and other delaying tactics. Counting the 2 Senate independents who usually vote with Democrats on procedural issues, the party will be able to muster only 59 votes at most, one short of the number needed. Can Obama and other Democrats convince conservatives to move with a liberal agenda on certain issues, Thom?
Absolutely. Remember, somebody, a buddy of mine earlier today reminded me that the game of politics is played between the 40-yard lines. 40% going to be Republican, 40% going to be Democrat. Everything in the middle is up for grabs. It's the independent vote that got him elected a year ago. It's going to be that independent vote that's going to elect Democrats or Republicans in the next cycle in November of 2010. He's got to appeal to bipartisanship. The Republicans have no place to go. If you offer the Republicans a health care bill smaller than we have now, but the opportunity to portability, to move with health care plans from job to job, to eliminate pre-existing conditions. If the Republicans say no to that, there won't be a Republican elected in 2010.
You know what,
President Obama is going to take this momentum and take advantage of it, just like in a karate move, and move forward in that direction.
That is brilliant what you just said, because here's my last question for Thom Serafin for today. If President Barack Obama calls Thom Serafin tonight, he gives you a phone, your phone rings, Thom, it's the president asking you, Thom, what should I do? What advice comes from your consulting firm, Thom?
Take the advantage that the voters have been able to give you. This was an early warning system, just like if you were on an airplane and you were the pilot and you were piloting it by yourself and the early warning system went off and said, we're going down, get your parachute and jump. It gives every Democrat the opportunity to jump for this gigantic health care bill that's laden with all kinds of, I hate to say it, but bribery and everything else.
Yes.
Get off of this bill, recalibrate it. The American public wants a health care bill that really goes after the insurance companies. Focus on what's good. Go in small bites. You can win this thing. Yeah. And next summer, you'll come out of this thing with an advantage and with momentum for the Democrats. Yeah. The Republicans are going to have to play with you. There's nobody else in the sandbox. The Republicans have to play in your sandbox.
That's
so
right.
Take advantage of it. They want bipartisanship. They want to cooperate. Bring them along with you. This is what they said they were going to do. Take them with you. And Senator Brown says, this bill's wrong. The independents are with you. Go with the independents. Remember, the independents are what's going to control the election process in 2010, 2012. Show that bipartisanship. You cannot pass a bill of this size without Republican votes. You have to have bipartisanship. This is a country of Republicans and Democrats and independents and libertarians. You have to include everybody. You cannot do this by yourself. If they do it and they ram it down the throat of everybody in this country, it's going to be scary. People are angry out there. It's going to impact Illinois, Gerard. It's going to impact every state in the union.
Yeah, and bipartisanship is what makes this country so great. Thom Serafin.
It's just like being married. I mean,
there we go.
Yeah, if you're married with your wife and you make all the decisions, what do you think your wife's going to say after a few years?
Oh, man.
Or if she makes all the decisions for you, what do you think you're going to say after a few years? You have to give and take. You have to give more than you take sometimes.
Yeah.
And guess what? You come out ahead.
It's going to get ugly, but it can be beautiful if we can cooperate and come to the middle. Thom Serafin from Serafin Associates. Hey, thanks for being on Garrard McClendon Live, my friend.
Thank you, Gerard. Peace and love to all your friends.
All right, take care now.